Unfortunately, there are no shortcuts to enlightenment, as it can only be done for the self, by the self. Because each and every one of us is different, and there are as many rich and varied routes to enlightenment as there are people on this planet. We are unique beings with free will, but on a quantum level, we're all just swimming around in one type of energy, buzzing in different ways. We emit different waves, but we're all very much part of the same sea. We are all one is something we hear often enough. But until we grasp its true meaning, they're just words. But how can we be all one and function as individuals at the same time? If you think about it, there is no other way that multiplicity can be achieved without the use of individual free will and complete independence of thought. It would look a little odd to have a glove puppet on each hand talking to yourself. Individualism is very much the spice of life, but to understand this from the perspective of oneness is something very much worth contemplating. So let's push the boat out a little with a philosophical analogy. So let's just imagine for a moment that you are an eternal, heavenly, godlike being who can create whatever you like purely through the power of intention. Your environment is therefore entirely your own design, like magic. You also hold a vibrational frequency that is a perfect match to all those around you in love, companionship, safety. Effectively avoiding all those that don't fit with your way of being. It's perfectional bliss. But is this bliss all it's cracked up to be without a little contrast? After all, we wouldn't enjoy escaping to a luxury spa weekend once in a while if you already happen to live in one. On that basis, it wouldn't take long at all before you started exploring ways of testing yourself. Putting your fingers in pies just to see how warm they are. Getting involved in some new and challenging situations. You would require novelty. But how far would you push it? Or more to the point, how far could it be pushed? To simply forget who you are and go on an intense journey of growth, danger, and excitement. Mix it up with others who are on a different vibrational frequency. A place of free will where anything goes. Well, it would certainly be a goer if you knew you were coming back to safety afterwards. What an experience that would be. To achieve the right kind of intensity and authenticity, we'd have to have a complete dedication to the cause, a clean slate, new and fresh experiences, as if seeing and doing everything for the first time. I wonder how long it would take to remember who we really are from that perspective. But it's okay, if the pie gets too hot, we'll just pull our fingers out. It's only transient. We can come back home and we'll sit back and chuckle at what on earth just happened. Too far out? Well, just consider the dreams we have at night when we seamlessly and instantly find ourselves in very real situations. We may be younger, older, or even have special talents. Anything goes in dreams. And then you awaken into the fixed laws of a quantum realism. And remember, you're not actually about to share oysters with a scantily clad Russian supermodel. And you have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. And perhaps it's time to change your phone's alarm to something less annoying. You become aware of the reawakened you, feeling heavy, bleary-eyed and tired as you are suddenly reintroduced to the physical world. Waking up to and from a new reality is something we do twice every day. We're pretty good at it. But what's with all the mystery behind life? Why bother with all this pain and hardship that life throws at us? Can't we just do it from a pre-enlightened point of view and skip all the bad bits, enjoy the good bits? Perhaps that's too obvious. Maybe we would be missing the point. Knowing something and experiencing something are very different propositions. See it like a trip to the cinema. What happens? Popcorn, chocolate, and your favourite drink in your hand. We find our ways to our comfortable seats, the lights are dimmed, the room is darkened, the sights, sounds and smells of the outside world are shut away from our senses. We then become fully engrossed with a huge high-definition screen, crisp surround sound, special effects with an intriguing story. What have we selected for our theme? Horror? Comedy? Action? War? A love story? The experience is immersive to ensure you receive maximum effectiveness and enjoyment of the film. When the journey ends and the story finishes, the lights come back on, and it takes a moment to adjust, to refocus, and remember you're back in a new familiar reality. You've just used a form of escapism to experience an alternative point of view. Just as in life, if you spend too much time wondering how the movie projector works, you may miss out on the novelty of the film. If you hold fear over the unknown secrets of what's behind the curtain, it may detract from the experience that is set before you. There's an amazing story out there, and it's been bespoke designed especially for you, by you. So relax, because you're also the director, the editor, producer, and most importantly, the critic. An ancient Aboriginal proverb said, "We are all visitors to this time, this place. We are just passing through. Our purpose here is to observe, to learn, to grow, to love. And then we return home." As individuals, our minds are constantly expanding, learning, and hopefully contributing to the greater good. But how are we doing as a human race overall? For thousands of years, not that well, it has to be said. A tad barbaric, perhaps. But I guess we had to start somewhere. Well, despite the fear-based rhetoric of the media and the smash and grab activities of governments and the big corporation monopolies, we are now moving into very different times. From drawing charcoal pictures on cave walls to being able to observe distant galaxies that appear to us now as they did 16 billion years ago. And this really is just the technological beginning. Society in general is also starting to wake up to the concept of self-empowerment. As we realise we no longer have to plod along in fear of the world, and others do not get to choose how we feel or behave. Yes, of course, we still have jobs and bills to pay, but the emphasis on each individual is to lead by example in their own way. However small that contribution may be. Inspire those that you meet by way of example, simply by being the best version of yourself in whatever way works best for you. With a better understanding of our true natures, The world of greed, corruption, and segregation, along with the huge accumulation of assets, would no longer create divisions between the rich and the poor, or the perception of the powerful over the powerless. In order to contribute to the greater good, we must maximize our potential as individuals first.